It's me.
The moon is full and the stars are aligned and the sky is an eerie black. It's the night of the biggest vampire on the hunt, on the attack. He spreads his wings as he takes to the air like smoke from a roaring fire, salivating for a little slice of that sweet carnal desire. On your marks, get ready, set, go! On your marks, get ready, set.
Once more, with feeling.
Okay, all right, you're there. Awesome.
The moon is full.
I
and the
love it.
stars are aligned and the sky is an eerie black. It's the night of the Vegas
vampire.
On the attack. He spreads his wings as he takes to the air like smoke from a roaring fire, salivating for a little slice of that sweet carnal desire.
Oh.
On your marks, get ready, set, go! 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 So get on with the show!
Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Pacific Northwest, from an undisclosed location, two guys getting high in America, around the world. It is D.W.O. Stone. I'm Johnny.
And I am Marco. Welcome to the show, everybody. Episode 68, I believe, right? We're on 68?
Yeah, 68 next week, 69. We got to suck each other off, bro.
Oh, God damn it. I should have read the fine print.
Yeah, dude, you know, duos over time. That's what you got to do on 69. You got to 69 each other.
See, when you originally pitched the idea of this podcast to me, you joked about that for episode 69, and I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Now we're getting real close to it, and I'm feeling like I agreed to something that I didn't realize I agreed to.
I prefer you use coconut chapstick. April Fools. Oh, I got ya.
Yeah, got me good. Yeah, got me
fucking-
good, you old son of a bitch.
You know who got me good today? Your employer. You know, are you hip on the April Fools joke from Kentucky Fried Chicken today?
Nobody told me about it because I wasn't working today, so I guess not.
Okay, so I mean, the employees don't even know of this joke. People think it's real. People are going, ugh. This is a product I would never want. Well, would you put it on the screen, you bastard? Kentucky Fried Chicken toothpaste, everybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is just a straight up April Fool's joke. Nobody's told me shit about that.
Now, does the Colonel have good teeth in the picture originally? Is this a...
Do you really think the man
notice
didn't have the money to pay for good teeth?
Well, I mean, he was from the South. It was, what, the 1940s?
More like when he started, it was more like the 50s or the 60s.
Oh, it was that late in life. Okay. So we're only 75 years into being a chicken man then.
Believe so.
He's still alive, right?
No, he's dead.
Oh, okay. You know, ever since somebody told me it looks like a little stick figure underneath his head, like
I
it's his
know.
body.
I know. Somebody told me that, and I can't see it any other way now. It fucks with me now.
The greatest April Fool's. Thanks, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Well, there's more, Marco.
More Kentucky Fried Chicken goofs.
Oh no, that is the only one goofed. This was on Kentucky Fried Chicken's Instagram today. His smile at KFC to smile just like the chicken flavored toothpaste, and there was an ad, April Fool's ad today that I did not get clipped, but for KFC with that guy that fought Tyson, Jake Paul.
Uh-huh.
There's a Jake Paul meal at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah,
And
I never
comes
heard
with
of
chicken
that.
soda, and it comes with chicken soda.
You know what? If we had chicken soda, I'd probably try it at least once.
So the commercial today was he pulls up, his face is on the bucket instead of the Colonel's, right? It's Jake Paul on the bucket.
Uh-huh.
It's the Jake Paul meal. So they hand him the chicken. He's like, oh, yeah, this is great. And then they hand him the chicken soda. He takes one drink of it and goes, oh, this tastes like shit. It spits it out everywhere. And I'm like, oh, man, I really thought that there was a chicken soda. Fooled again. You got me.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got Jake Paul in on it so that it was at least somewhat believable. But then chicken soda is like, oh, okay, this is a bit.
It's a bit. I really thought it was real. I thought, well, why isn't there a bang with it? I thought.
A bang.
Because that's his drink, his bang or whatever. Isn't that him?
I thought
No,
I thought his
Prime.
thing was Prime. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
it's
Prime. Bang is what I want to do you on episode 69.
See, you said that enough times before the stream that I'm starting to get slightly concerned. I'm not joking here, people.
Oh boy. Some other April Fool's jokes today
Uh-huh.
from the corporate side of things on the funny side. Let's see. Oh, we had a conversation about Dr. Pepper last week, I believe.
So I guess, sure, probably.
So today for April Fool's, I think Dr. Pepper released something that I might even actually enjoy, a Dr. Pepper Tic Tac.
Actually, you know what? That actually does sound pretty good. I probably would eat that, to be honest.
Now, I have had Coca-Cola Tic Tacs, and they were awesome.
Yeah.
They never made them again, though. They only made them for 1 year, I think.
Yeah, they do that a lot with candy, so they do crossovers with sodas, and then they just never do it again. It's very bizarre.
That'd be so cool if they could actually fabricate a tiny little can like that to the size of a Tic Tac.
Oh, there is a way, but I'm probably sure it would give us even more cancer than Tic Tacs already do.
Yeah, I am so scared of plastic now.
You already have microplastics in your system. What are you scared of?
Basically, they said every year it's like sitting down with a MasterCard in front of you and eating the whole thing.
Yep.
No more plastic for this cat. That's where I'm losing. I need my testosterone back. I need my manhood back. Nothing in plastic from here on out, from this day forward.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Coca-Cola's, glass bottles. Water, glass bottles. But then the water's tainted, so you're fucked either way. We're all dying. Now, this is probably the most disgusting one I've seen. This is something I would never buy today from April 1st, is Pop-Tarts just crust. The absolute worst, shitty part of the Pop-Tart. That's all you get.
That seems like that's like a stocking stuffer for Christmas, but for that one cousin that you hate.
Yep.
It's like, oh, Pop-Tart, the fuck? Yep, Merry Christmas, bud.
Just the crust, buddy. Just the crust.
It's just a fucking graham cracker at that point.
Now, I think it's official. If you're a stoner, you have to enjoy Pop-Tarts, right?
Yes, but the real question is, do you like your Pop Tarts hot or cold?
I like them slightly warmed in the microwave.
Interesting.
I don't like when they get all crispy and hard on the outsides when you put them in the toaster.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to, they taste a little burnt to me. I don't.
Right. Okay, so you want them hot and soft, but not crispy.
Just slightly warmed, but not
Okay.
cold. Cold, no, no, thank you.
Bro, I will eat cold Pop Tarts to the day I fucking die. That was my fucking staple breakfast for years of my life. Was just walking out the door with a fucking cold Pop Tart, munching on it like it was nobody's business.
Yeah, we had the toaster strudels.
It's the same thing.
They suck. You got to fucking heat the sauce. It was some kind of welfare thing. I don't know. My mom used to get welfare for some food, and they
Right.
would give us a case of them fucking things. And yeah, you got to put the sauce on them and shit. So you had to heat them. There was no other way to eat them. And they're
Yeah,
always
yeah.
frozen because they use fresh fruit and shit.
Mm-hmm. Quote
It was
unquote
like,
fresh fruit. That's why they had to freeze it. Like freezing it actually saves it.
And I was jealous of kids like you who could afford the Pop Tarts. You fucking rich boy.
I didn't. I wasn't able to afford Pop Tarts all the fucking time, man. I was talking about it until like I moved out of the house when I was like 18. And I was able to buy food for myself. I was like, yeah, man, fucking Pop Tarts every morning. Let's go.
God, I remember feeding myself for about $8 a week when I first moved out on my own.
That must have been nice.
It was. I could literally feed myself for $12 a week right now.
I find that hard to believe, but okay.
Super simple. You get a bag of noodles, and you have some type of pasta dish all week.
So you just eat spaghetti to the day you die.
Oh no, I go fancy. I go elbow macaroni. I mean, I go for it at the dollar store.
Okay, but it's still just basically spaghetti.
Well, no. What I like to do is I like to get a can of tomatoes because they're super cheap. They're cheaper than regular tomatoes. Sauce is too expensive. So I would get a can of sauce and a can of tomatoes, dump them in there. That would feed me for 4 days.
So you eat spaghetti with tomatoes instead of meatballs.
Yeah, just no sauce though. Just the noodles and the tomatoes.
No butter or salt or anything like that.
I throw a little pepper on it. Yeah, and then if I was doing good that week, I would chop up some Slim Jims and throw it in there.
Sli- okay, you lost me at the Slim Jim bit. That
Yeah,
sounds. I ain't gonna lie, man. That sounds fucking gross.
it sounds gross, but man, it like literally, it fed me all week.
See, my staple with pasta was like that, but instead of tomatoes, it was literally just butter noodles and garlic salt.
Yeah, that's good too. That's a good poor boy dinner. I miss poor boy dinners sometimes. You know what I mean? It's weird.
I know it's kind of a nostalgic. I think it's just more of a nostalgic thing where yeah, eating ramen sucks, but every now and then you just eat a cup of ramen and you kind of just sit there and go like, hmm, I'm back in my shitty old apartment again.
Yep. Oh God, I never had good food, but I got a lot of BJ's back then.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it
We had
kind
a
of
lot of
takes you
fun.
back when you're just back in that ritual again.
No, it's great. I literally, I would never. I'd be like, my roommates would go out and spend hundreds of dollars a week on food, and they're like, "What are you eating tonight?" I'm like, "I got a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter for $3. It's gonna last me the whole week. Don't worry about it." What'd you spend the rest of your money on? Well, I bought liquor and weed. All right, I spent all my money on weed. All right.
I spent my money on the fucking party. Mind your own damn business.
And don't you love too, like when you get your first paycheck, like a real paycheck for the first time in your life, you can finally go to the store and like get like real hamburger. for the first time, and like, just like you could buy like a $5 steak comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah, I could actually go through the fucking deli section and look through and just be like, "Wait a minute. I can have sausage tonight?" Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
And Nikki always used to say how cheap I was, but I'd get a loaf of bread, and then I would go to the deli in the afternoon and not get a pound of meat. I'd go 3 slices of salami, please.
You are
He'd
out of
be
your
like,
fucking mind.
and the guy's like, "That's going to be 18 cents." I'm like, "Fucking A, it is. I just had a sandwich today for 47 cents.
See, Johnny, you were almost there. You have a loaf of bread. What you do is you buy just enough meat so that you can make multiple sandwiches with that bread. You're like 2 steps away from saving money.
Yeah, I know. That's back when I was working, though, and the store was across the street. So every day for lunch, I'd take my 2 pieces of bread, go over and get my 3 slices of meat, stick it in there. Oh, man. And if I had a good week, I might even get some Velveeta slices to throw in.
God, I know that people swear up and down about that Velveeta cheese, but that shit is gross. Even I can't fucking swallow that shit.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I hate American cheese. All the cheese that's on like all the shitty hamburgers you get, at McDonald's. That I don't. Ugh.
Awfully bold of you to assume that shit is actually cheese. That's all the fucking microplastics you're eating is all that fake ass cheese. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no shit. No, I don't. McDonald's. I don't do cheese at McDonald's. And ever since fighting about the Chinese not eating cheese, I think I'm done with the cheese too.
Is it that the Chinese just don't eat cheese, or is it because they just have a lack of cheese?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Chinese have cow. I thought they find the cow. No, that's India that finds the cow sacred.
Yeah.
I don't know, but no Chinese. No, no. I don't know about nothing much about Chinese people, to be honest with you.
So you just blindly followed their logic anyway. Sounds like a solid plan.
Yeah, I mean, 2007, I did go to China, but not really. I went to Hong Kong.
What, did you have to like land there or something?
No, we were there for a week.
Okay, but did you just get like the whole fucking tour while you were there, and then when you were done, it's like, all right, here's your ticket, get the fuck out.
Yeah, pretty much. You went and drank a little bit. There was no weed. There was no drugs at all.
It's China.
But we weren't. It wasn't China. It was Hong Kong, which
Right.
I tell this to people. It's English. It's all English-speaking people. It was run by England up until like 20 years ago. It's like going to England. There's white people everywhere. It wasn't China. But I was in China, but it wasn't China. It's the craziest experience of my life.
That is bizarre.
When I heard we were going to Hong Kong, China, I'm like, oh, okay. No, fucking McDonald's, KFC, Burger King. It was like being in America. It was crazy. I'd say 80% of the people there were white and spoke English.
That is bizarre.
But, one of these days I'll do a podcast of my travels.
Yeah, you're now that you're a felon and you can't leave the country, you might as well detail all the things that you used to do.
Well, my dreams were crushed of never being a radio guy. They were crushed. I do what every young guy does, and I know you probably went through this yourself at one time, or you've thought about it, is I got to go see the world. I got to go find myself.
Yeah, sort of like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then you go to these places, and you're like, ugh, I just want to go home. This sucks. I hate it here. I did like Amsterdam, though. That was until we got jacked, but it's for a whole other story too.
Yeah, I was gonna say living in Amsterdam probably wouldn't be great.
Yeah, we went to Amsterdam for 6 days. This first night we went to the wrong spot and got jacked. 2 assholes said they had AIDS and put needles up to our necks.
Hey man, I wouldn't risk it either.
And then, after doing that, I was just like, you know what? I'll just risk getting busted with weed at home. I'm done with this fucking place. So, yeah, my Amsterdam experience was, we were there for night, got jacked, stayed in the room, scared. One guy was brave enough to go down to the coffee shop and bring weed back to us. we sat watched Knight Rider episodes in Dutch. Crazy. All right, this one's going off the rails tonight. I'm sorry, I'm a little high.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just trying to imagine what it's like getting mugged by a guy who's speaking in Dutch. It's got to be the weirdest thing.
No, they were pleasant enough to learn our language. There were 4 guys, and there were 2 of us.
Okay. Well, at least they knew how to threaten you properly.
And they didn't put the needle up to my buddy's neck. No, they put it up to my neck and threatened me. And I'm like, you motherfucker, you better give him your shit.
Yeah. No, I would do the same thing. It's like, look, man, I don't care if he's bluffing. Give him your shit. I'm not gonna fucking risk it.
If I'm getting AIDS, I'm getting it the old-fashioned way by getting pounded up the rear. Oh. Yes, I mean, everybody has this romance of traveling the country and seeing the world. And it just sucks. People are the same no matter where you go.
Yeah. It's.
And I remember seeing these places too. You're like, oh, I get to go see the Eiffel Tower, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, yep, that looks just like the pictures I've seen 1,000 of. Yeah, this is worth $18,000 this trip.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I would go and travel the world is just because I'm a bit of a history buff. I like, especially like 20th century history. I really find that fascinating. And so that's really the only reason why I would travel anywhere outside of the country is just to see like historical landmarks and, shit like that. But to see the world, just to go and see the world, is like, that's what the fucking internet's for.
Yeah, I would recommend to all of you young guys out there, because right now nobody likes Americans, especially now. Now we can't travel the world.
Since when has America ever been liked? As far as I've known, ever since I've been born, everyone hates us.
No, when Obama was president, the world was in love with him and us. They really were. Yeah, I mean, you go back and you see the crowds when Obama came in. They're like, oh my God, finally somebody that's not a politician. Obama was the original Trump, by the way. Some guy that really doesn't belong there, but he can talk to us. For some reason, he can resonate. Like,
yeah.
When I was traveling, Obama was the dude. And people loved America then. And then when Trump came in, dude, whoa. Holy shit, people hate us now.
Yeah.
And who came after Obama? Oh, Biden? No. It was Trump, right? Yeah, Trump and then Biden. And now Trumpy again. Yeah, it's cool. So, I mean, you haven't really... I think, went to Canada once, you said, a couple times.
I've only been to Canada once, and that was by accident. I've never...
That's right.
I've never intentionally left the country. I don't even have a passport.
All right, let's finish off the April Fool's thing really quick. I'm sorry, man. I am all over the place. Okay.
Still firing on all cylinders, which means
as usual. It means we're fucking hiding. I'm smoking tonight. I'm back on the First Class Funk, 27.72% THC. It's an indica. And that's the weird thing. I'm flying like I'm on fucking white stuff, but I'm not.
That just means you're gonna crash by the end of the show.
I can't wait for the crash.
Sleep like a baby.
So what are you toking up tonight, buddy?
I am. It's described as a, what is it? Let me see here. It's the like banana sherbet, I think it says. Yeah, banana sherbet. It's like a banana float ice cream sort of thing. And I will say, it's one of the few times I've had a flavored cart where I'm just like, well, I'll be damned, it tastes like banana. You know, usually
Yeah,
when you get
banana.
flavored, yeah, usually when you get flavored carts, it's hit or miss, or I'm like, damn, this actually tastes like what it says it is, or I'm like, nope, still tastes like weed.
Now, I'm going to ask you a weird question about bananas.
Uh huh.
There's two banana tastes. I think there's artificial banana tastes that I think bananas always taste like. And then there's the real banana taste. Because a real banana, artificial banana, never the same, right?
Well, that's I actually know the reason behind that. So most of our candy that that developed the banana flavor as we associate it now, that was a flavor that was developed in like the 50s, right?
Okay.
So at some point in human history, I don't remember when, like in the 60s or something like that, but there was actually a famine of this particular strain of banana. So when this strain of banana died, we had to replace it with a different type of banana, which is eventually turned into the bananas that we have now.
Oh, so you're telling me the original bananas, real bananas, taste like this artificial banana that I've grown to love over the years?
Yes, that is what bananas used to legitimately taste like.
Well, goddamn it, science, we got something. Business idea number, what is this, 947 between us.
Something like that.
And all of those that are stoned right now with us know that every stoner session has a business idea brought up. It's written in the conflicts when you're
Yeah, it
passing a
happens.
joint.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone comes up with a great idea for a business idea or an invention at some point in the rotation. It happens.
So what if we got one of these genetic science guys? Maybe, I know a few guys that make illegal things really well, chemistry wise.
Uh
Why
huh.
can't they maybe re-engineer the original banana?
Well, again, I'm not a fucking botanist or whatever the term for a banana scientist is, but I'm guessing because that particular strain of banana got wiped out so long ago and we effectively replaced it, you would have to find a seed or a sample of the original banana, which, yeah, good luck.
Well, they'd be able to find original seeds back of marijuana.
Yeah, why can't they do it for bananas?
There's got to be somewhere like where some banana crop got frozen in time.
There are no fucking bananas growing where shit got frozen.
So what's going to happen tonight? We came up with this great idea. Me and you are fucking baked right now. I know
Oh
I
yeah,
am. I don't know about you, but
I'm good and baked. I'm good.
yeah, because this stuff's funny, so we got to be high, right? um, a year from now, we'll just be sitting on a Sunday night watching TV, and some asshole in a banana costume is going to come on with our idea and make $1 billion on Shark Tank.
Yeah, yeah. Only because that dude actually has money and resources to make that shit happen.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm part retarded, but I come up with ideas, and then it seems like 4 or 5 days later, they exist out of nowhere.
Yeah, but you don't really strike me as somebody who does research because I've done that before where I try to think of something and I'm like, this idea that I have is so simple. There's no way that there isn't some Chinese guy that came up with it first.
Exactly. There isn't some guy that
You
had the
know?
same problem at the same time today I just had today. Then I always have that thing too where well, why hasn't it been done before? Well, idiot, it's been done 1 million times and it's never worked.
Yeah. Or this is just the best option we have. It's like, well, why don't we make something better? Okay, you got something better? Well, no.
Yeah, so I mean, original bananas, write that down on the chart. Because
Yeah,
I do
we need
love
to find
artificial banana better
we
than
need
fresh
to
banana.
we need to find a stoned mad scientist.
It's crazy. The banana. I'm going bananas.
Yeah, but I realized that a long time ago. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. So you're sucking down some banana flavored marijuana tonight,
Yeah, it's actually kind of tasty.
risking your life and freedom just by taking a puff of a substance that comes from the ground.
I'm in Washington, man. That shit's legal here.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. I thought you were. I keep thinking you're Utah. I don't know why.
Utah isn't the Pacific Northwest. How many times do I have to keep telling you this?
I don't have a map around here. All right.
So what? That doesn't.
I didn't need to learn shit in school. I was gonna be the next Howard Stern. All right. I didn't need to know any of that.
How's that working out for you?
It didn't work out well because I'm an idiot doesn't know anything, and I'm not interesting to listen to.
I mean, hey, man, you're not alone on that. There has been quite a few times where I say like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the Pacific Northwest," and they're just like, "So what is that? Like Canada?" No, think about it.
The Pacific
North.
Ocean, north,
Yeah, yes, you
west.
got it halfway there. North, west. I'm from that region, and they're just like, so like California, like no.
We're in the place that nobody knows exists.
I don't know. I'd argue the Midwest is worse than the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, just I made that drive this year through the Midwest, and my God,
Yeah, I do not envy you. I do not envy you in the slightest.
what a wasteland of humanity!
Yeah, not just a wasteland of humanity, but a fucking. If there wasn't so much farmland, that's the only thing saving it from being a fucking wasteland. I have literally seen videos of people that are in like Iowa and Kentucky that are on lands that are so fucking flat that they're just like, all right, so if I look over here, that's a town over there. It's 10 miles away. You can just see a fucking city 10 miles away just because the land is so fucking flat.
I remember. Yeah, you come over. I come out of Vegas to the mountains to Colorado, the most beautiful drive of my entire life, and then it's just 10 hours of
Actually,
just gray flat shit where you can see Lincoln from the border, but it's 8 hours away.
yes. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, it makes sense why there's a lot of rednecks that are flat earthers. Like, why do you think the earth is flat? Well, fucking look around you, man. Mountains don't exist.
They live on flat Earth, but for some reason, everybody has a sloped driveway because they're stupid. Oh, oh my God! I'm trying to think what was worse, Iowa or Nebraska. Colorado's cool. Like dudes in Colorado are cool for some reason. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, because Colorado was the first state to legalize weed.
And mushrooms now.
True.
If it wasn't for that fucking altitude sickness, I'd live there.
Really? You got altitude sickness in Colorado?
Yeah, I went to. I've been to Red Rocks a few times, and every time it's not. You can't breathe. It's not good for guys that have fucking their lungs are half full of fucking resin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say your smoking habit probably didn't help with that. Next time you go to Colorado, you got to get one of those those oxygen tanks with the cart that you just wheel around behind you.
I was just like you park your car and you just keep walking up these stairs. It doesn't stop. I remember just sitting there, like just trying to breathe. I couldn't even listen to the music. I'm like, I'm dying here.
Yeah, I was. I've never been to Colorado, but I did at one point go down to New Orleans to visit some friends of mine, and the fucking humidity of the southern region of the country, it was unbelievable. And I'm in the Pacific Northwest, which means I have a humidity of 0% a vast majority of the time, and it is fantastic. I go down to the south, and I am drowning on dry land. I am like walking around behind these people, and I am like actively heavy breathing, just like. And meanwhile, my buddies are up ahead of me, just. What a lovely Tuesday. I'm just like, I am literally dying.
Yeah, that's the other reason I won't go. I hate Florida. It's the same thing. It's just ugh. There's no even reason to take a shower down there. The second you walk out, you're stinky again.
I literally had a dude from Florida tell me that. Like, there are just some points in Florida where there's just no point in taking a shower, because as soon as you get out of the shower, you're just gonna get hit with that humidity funk, and you're gonna smell like shit again.
No wonder everybody's fucking nuts down there.
Yeah.
I'd be too.
Yeah, unless you lived by the fucking ocean. Yeah. If you get anywhere deeper inland of Florida, that shit is fucked up, man.
I don't do Florida. I don't do that. No more humidity for this cat.
Yeah, man, zero humidity all the fucking way. Humidity is bullshit. Why would you want to live in an area where humidity exists?
I don't know. I don't get this country. There's cool people. There's cool people everywhere. But when you pull into a town, everybody looks at you like you're an alien. You're like, man, I just took a shower today. I don't know. I put some nice clothes on. Sorry, I'm not rich.
There are some places in this country that don't like outsiders, man, and they know. And they know if you're an outsider and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and the farther you get into the middle of the country, the creepier it gets with the people. They just stare at you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have teeth and I took a shower today. I'm sorry. Oh, I look like I'm out of place. Sorry.
Yeah, the only time I've ever stopped in the Midwest was when I was in Texas, which Texas is the Midwest, but Texas is kind of its own thing.
Yes.
But it's still very much like that, where like I was walking around everywhere I was walking around, I could not fit in anywhere. I stuck out like a sore thumb, and literally every fucking old man came up to me and was like, "So where are you from, boy?" I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." You know?
Yeah, I had a buddy that got he was just went up for a morning walk and the fucking cops roughed him up, beat him up, said he looked suspicious, and then they figured out he was a different guy. So we're at the hotel waiting for the guy to show back up because we got to go. We're going around spring break.
Got fucking nabbed by the cops.
And like, where's Buddy at? And they're like, well, I don't know. We haven't seen him. Next thing you know, 3 squad cars come pull him up, and they drop him out, shake his hand, and the cops are like, we're really sorry for kicking your ass. I'm like, what the hell happened? Buddy,
Bitch, there better be a crisp $100 bill in that fucking handshake.
The cops just literally said, sorry for kicking your ass. We thought you were someone else.
How badly did they beat him up?
Pretty bad.
What the fuck? They just fucking... Oh my god.
Yeah, his fucking lips were all swollen up. His nose was a little crooked. He had a little cut behind his ear. His fucking knees were all scraped up. They're just like, oh, sorry. We roughed him up a little bit.
Yeah.
We just. You boys have a good trip. We just woke him up a little bit for you. What the fuck?
Woke him up. You almost knocked him the fuck out. Jesus Christ.
Texas is crazy, man. I'm not a big fan of that place either.
Yeah, but my saving grace was that even though I clearly wasn't a Texan, I'm white as fuck, so I get a pass.
Yeah, you get that kind of, at least you speak English vibe down there.
Yeah. At least they know I'm an American.
Oh, God. Yeah, Texas is something else. Did you get to eat a Whataburger while you were in Texas?
No, but I did go to a Waffle House. We don't have Waffle House in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Waffle House. I don't think there's a Waffle House in Vegas. I haven't seen one if there is.
Yeah. Going to Waffle House, I will say I've only been to one Waffle House, and I went in there, and I don't know why, but I'm just like, everything about this is just sketchy beyond fucking belief. But I automatically love this way more than IHOP for some reason.
Yeah, IHOP is just too fucking neat and clean.
And also their food is just very fucking bland. But for some reason in fucking Waffle House, when you get food served to you from a cook who just hates his fucking life, he's probably on parole or something, and he just
Yeah.
cooks you eggs and waffles, is like, this is the ugliest fucking breakfast I've ever had, but oh my god, is it delicious.
Well, I mean, your eggs do have to have a couple of cigarette ashes in them to taste good. I mean, let's be realistic.
You get what you pay for.
If I could cook with a cigarette dangling from his mouth, making hash browns.
My buddy, I have a buddy, my buddy who I went and visited. He told me he walked into a Waffle House one time, and the cook just straight up had a joint in his ear. In Texas, this fucking dude just had a joint rolled up in his ear, and he was cooking. He's like, "What in the fuck?"
The thing I don't understand about Texas is Joe Rogan and the Kill Tony guys are doing shows in Texas every night, smoking weed, no problem.
I'm sure they pay the fine. I'm guessing.
I mean, they're smoking weed in the club on camera. It's illegal. How is that cool? You know?
Well, I'm guessing. Well, like I said, I imagine it's because they just pay the fine. But the other guess is that if they don't pay the fine, I'm sure that they also have lawyers who will make the process a hell of a lot more of a pain in the ass than the cops are willing to put up with. You know what I mean?
I got you. It's
So
just
that's my guess.
No, it's just crazy how marijuana is legal in some spots. You're sitting watching TV of guys making millions, and then some people in the country going to prison for doing the same thing. It's fucking hilarious.
I know, and literally half of the states in this country have it legalized recreationally. It's fucking nuts.
I don't know what to say to these people, especially the people in the orange states.
Yeah, Idaho especially, man. You're surrounded by Montana, Washington, Oregon, and Nevada. All of those states legalize marijuana. Literally everyone in your state can just go in any fucking direction and go get legalized weed.
I think the funny part is like you could drive to the nose at the very tip of the nose. I want to put a dispensary at the tip of the nose on Montana. Kind of got that like Nixon silhouette there.
Yeah, right on just right there.
And I just Texas, I don't understand. Just legalize the goddamn weed. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, how else are they gonna bust all the fucking Mexicans?
Exactly. I got you. All right. Florida too. Weird.
Medical. I mean, it's a start. I'll take it over nothing.
Yeah, it's $200 for a card not to go to jail. I'll pay it. You know.
Yeah.
They have a doctor at the fucking dispensary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that man is a doctor just because it says DR on his business card.
Yep, and if I was a doctor, I would do that. How easy cash all day, $200 every time.
Yeah, all you have to do is just someone walks in and says like, "Yep, here's my credentials that says I can smoke weed," and just be like, all right. Let me consult my notes, and you just pull out a notepad and you just draw dicks for 10 minutes. And be like, all right, yeah, this seems like the right strain for you.
Oh god. Well, I want to thank the orange states for keeping the cartels growing weed in the states and killing people. Thanks, orange states.
I don't know if Idaho's got to worry about the fucking cartels, but maybe we do. I don't know.
Well, wherever it's illegal, that's the black market. I mean, Are you telling me nobody in Idaho smokes weed?
I mean, I'm sure there's people that do, but I doubt that they're as fucking open about it.
Straight up, and it's hard jail time. It isn't like easy. You get busted in
Oh
South
yeah,
Carolina with marijuana. You're spending 5 days minimum in jail. In jail.
yeah, jail. And yeah, in Idaho, they fucking throw the book on you real fucking hard if they bust you on that if they bust you with weed. It's fucking insane. And literally, like I said, it's literally across the state line. You just be like, "Yep, it's cool." It's fucking wild.
That's cool. Hey, what do you want? Here, have some free shit. Here, try some shit for free. Here, go ahead.
Oh, I've
Like,
never
what is
seen a
going on?
dispensary. I've never seen a dispensary in Washington that gave out free shit.
Oh, I guess I'm in Vegas. I guess it's a different. Every day, it's like we got some new gummies in here. Try these. Like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely more of a Nevada and California thing for sure. I've never seen one in Washington that was like, yeah, free samples.
And then there's the CBD only shit. It's still completely illegal, marijuana, in
Yeah,
all of the gray states.
but you got this diet CBD and THC stuff that is arguably worse because it's super concentrated.
Yeah, and all of the local governments are trying to get all that shit banned too. The Delta 8s, the THCPs, all that shit's getting pulled very quickly here.
I would say you pull that shit if you're going to legalize marijuana. That's my fucking is like if you think that shit's bad, then yeah, give the people what they fucking want. If they're buying that shit, then give them
Yeah,
the shit that doesn't kill them.
there's one Texas town that I guess their state attorney said that if you don't stop selling this in 30 days, you're all going to prison. They're shutting down 124 stores outside in Arlington.
Well, like
Crazy.
smoke shops.
Smoke shops. Anybody that sells Delta 8 or any of the alternative marijuana things that you were talking about,
Uh huh.
they're closing 124 stores down. What does that do to the local community, money wise?
I mean, if they have damn near 200 smoke shops in Arlington that have been shut down, I imagine there's still some smoke shops that complied.
It's got to be the landlords are going to take a hit like no tomorrow.
Since when do we give a shit what landlords want?
How much tax money do you think 200 smoke shops generated for the city? Where's that money going to come from now?
Yeah, all right, that is a good point. Yeah, all that fucking tax money from buying tobacco and the CBD and THC shit. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's not a smart. That wasn't a smart move. Yeah. You got a good point.
I don't know. It just seems like when poor people figure out a way to make money, people figure out how to fuck you out of it.
Ain't that the truth?
They don't like the fact that poor people are starting marijuana businesses and becoming rich. They want rich guys to do rich guy shit and stay rich.
Well, yeah, because they want the rich people that they know how to work with to stay rich. They don't want new blood to show up because they don't know how to work with them. They can't pull the same tricks on them. They don't know the same shit that they do.
Why does everybody see what's going on, and why can't anything ever be changed? And you know what? There's no answer, is there?
Well, I mean, I my answer, I guess, is that we have a population in this country of what, over 300 million people,
Mm-hmm.
and we're somehow supposed to unify as a country and all unanimously agree on everything. You get what I'm saying? Is like
Yeah, I
that's
know,
not
but
going to fucking happen.
you have your brain, right? And I have my brain,
Uh huh.
and we both just come to very simple conclusions on how to fix shit. And we're not. I know I'm not a rocket scientist. You might be actually, but uh, it's just like you come into your mindset, and I guess you get rigid to thinking the way you think. And why would anybody not else think like I do? Because I figured it all out.
Yeah, it's
I think
really.
everybody feels that way.
Well, I think the answer is because that there's many, 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 many more things at play that we don't know about just because we aren't directly involved in the process. And by different things involved that we don't know about, I mean the dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds of strings that are attached to working with these people. You know?
Oh, it is. It's crazy. When I'm out and I see people arguing with people and shit, I'm just like, what? Why are you arguing? Are you fucking crazy? The fuck is wrong with you? There's more going on than your fries weren't right today. There's what's going on in your life where you're ready to kill the guy behind the counter because your fries were cold. What happened to you today?
This you talking to yourself in the mirror?
Yeah. I shouldn't have slapped that kid. No, I'm kidding.
I really wanted to. I was real close.
I was hanging out with my best friend.
It's nothing! It's fucking You high, bro? Yo! Now you got the munchies, huh?
Hey, my nigga. Hey, you good? Yo, you good?
I don't know why that cracks me up every time. Is that animal cruelty?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking what is it? PETA? I'm not a fucking
Yeah.
PETA representative. How the hell would I know?
I just think it's cool that monkeys get high like we do. I don't know why that turned me on so much. I got so happy about it.
Monkeys show very human behaviors, and that's why they're very fucking fascinating. And there's a fucking what was the name of fucking Ronald Reagan's monkey that he used to act with? What was his name?
Oh, Bonzo.
Yeah, Bonzo. Apparently, Bonzo was like considered like an accredited actor. Like he was in movies and shit. So he got like, his handler got paid and shit. But apparently, they had a reoccurring problem with Bonzo on set of him where, him being a monkey, he obviously didn't want to listen to certain commands and he just wouldn't do the scene for whatever reason. But he also loved to smoke cigarettes and drink. And there were many times where they couldn't find Bonzo, and they eventually found out it was because he snuck up into the rafters and he would just jerk off. So,
Oh God.
so, maybe monkeys are not quite as human as we would like to think, or maybe they're more human than we'd like to admit.
Yeah, I mean, I see a few homeless guys that pretty much do the same thing on the street.
Oh, you wouldn't actually? You want to hear You want to hear a tangent about one of the most brilliant homeless people you'll ever hear?
Yes.
All right.
They're
So
intriguing.
All right, so we're going deep for this one. So I'm guessing you're at least somewhat familiar with the name of uh, Aristotle and Socrates and Plato, the
Oh, absolutely.
ancient Greek philosophy. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Shaq.
Shaq.
Yeah, he was the big Socrates. He called himself.
Oh, I was unaware of that. But
he's the great Aristotle.
okay,
Oh, go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Slam dunk, friend.
So around the time of Socrates and Plato and Aristotle, there was another man who Plato described as a Socrates gone mad, and his name was Diogenes. Now, Diogenes was an old man who was homeless, and as far as anybody knew, he never had any children, never married anybody. He pretty much hated almost everybody and preferred the company of dogs, and survived off of the generosity of others. And he was just a constant fucking nuisance to everybody. But he was very quick and very sharp-witted, so he was being a nuisance, but he would back up everything that he was doing. Like for example, let me think. There was one example of someone. There was a recorded instance of someone went up to him and asked him what kind of wine did he like, and because the guy just wanted to go be nice and buy some wine for him, and he asked him what he wanted, and Diogenes said, "My favorite kind of wine is wine that belonged to somebody else." So that can mean a lot of things, but I think what he meant by that is like, it's the fact that it is your wine and you gave it to me. That's why it's my favorite. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was thinking that maybe he drank the piss.
I mean, it might be. The dude is kind of crazy.
I mean, he did hang out with Socrates.
Well, he hung out with Plato, and Plato hated him. There was at one point where, when Plato started the school of philosophy, a question was raised on what is the shortest sentence that you could use to describe a human. And Plato described a human as a featherless biped, which, for the time when the ancient Greeks never discovered like kangaroos or monkeys or anything like that, that was a fairly accurate statement. You know?
Yeah.
So the community like applauded and cheered him for it. Diogenes, on the other hand, was pissed that he is getting any recognition for this at all. And so Diogenes went and got a chicken and plucked it of all of its feathers, and then just barged in the middle of Plato giving a lecture, and just presented the chicken and said, "Behold, Plato's man," and tossed it into the classroom.
What the fuck, man?
The dude was fucking nuts, but the way that he would do shit is like, I can't deny the fucking logic there, but he's fucking nuts. Like there was at one point where he was fucking kidnapped by pirates, and the pirates were going to take him prisoner and hold him ransom, and he was literally laughing at them. He was like, "No one." Yeah, he's like, I have nobody. No one is going to pay you anything for me, you fucking morons. Like, he was straight up telling him, like, you're wasting your time. And so they just kept him prisoner, and, you know, because he was a prisoner, they just fed him whatever food scraps were left behind. But because he was fucking homeless, he was eating like a goddamn king, because he was eating food scraps off of a fucking ship. So he was just laughing at them the whole time, and nobody would pay anything to get him back, and they just let him go.
I wonder if that's where Gene Wilder got his character from. Was that when they went to Stir Crazy? It's basically the same thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think what's some.
He got to jail, and like they put him in isolation, and he gets, and they're like, "All right, you're out of the hole." He's like, "Really, already? I was getting the best rest of my life in here." And then they put him on the stretcher thing where they'd hang him from the chain, and he'd hang him for like 8 hours, and they'd unchain him, and he's like, "Oh my God, my back has never felt greater. Oh, I love it here. Oh, the food is delicious. This is the best food I've ever had. I don't know who's knocking the prison food, but man, it's great.
Yeah. Well, that was how Diogenes got away with being a nuisance, was because he was homeless and he lived in a fucking barrel. So if anybody called the guards on him to try and get him arrested, he would basically just be like, "The fuck are you gonna do? Throw me in a cell, keep me dry, and feed me 3 square meals a day?
Okay.
Great. That sounds like a great idea."
And this was
So they just left him alone.
1500s? 1500s?
We're talking like BC.
BC. Oh, BC.
Yeah.
God, you know, how crazy is that human behavior is still basically the same?
Yeah,
after all these years.
That's why history is fucking fascinating, man. But we didn't even get to some of my favorite Diogenes bits. I guess there was at one point where I forget what town he was in. I think he was in Athens. But the city was being attacked by an enemy army, and as the town was getting ransacked, everybody was obviously running away from the carnage, except for Diogenes, who was sleeping in his barrel. And
I love this guy.
Yeah, and so an enemy soldier saw him and went over to the barrel, and when he noticed that he was sleeping and he wasn't dead, the soldier kicked him to wake him up, and Diogenes poked his head out of the barrel, and the soldier looked at him and said, "You old fool, your town's getting ransacked. Don't you know what the hell's going on?" And apparently Diogenes just said, "Kickings for donkeys, not soldiers," and then went back to sleep.
Yeah, this is my kind of guy.
Yeah, he is nuts. But the reason why I bring up Aristotle is because I don't know if you're familiar with Alexander the Great.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so Aristotle taught Alexander the Great how to be Alexander the Great. And so, of course, Aristotle told Alexander about Diogenes and how much of a pain in the ass he was to Plato. And so when Alexander would go on his conquest, he would eventually go on to try and meet Diogenes himself. And so they say what happened was Diogenes was just laying out in a field, just sunbathing, I guess.
Just chilling.
He was homeless. Like, what else is he gonna do? So he was just bathing in the sun,
getting that vitamin D, getting some of that vitamin D.
Yeah, just enjoying the sun. And Alexander and his entourage of people walk up to approach him, and Diogenes apparently lifted up his head to see what the crowd of people was doing, and just saw the crowd of people, and then just laid his head back down. And Alexander went up to him and asked if he was Diogenes, and Diogenes said yes. And he says, "I am Alexander, and I came all the way here from I don't remember, but he's like, I've come from my home country all the way to come and talk to you, to grant you anything that you want." Now, this is a big fucking deal. Like, Alexander the Great himself just went up to this fucking bum. You know what I mean? It's like, this dude has been nothing but a nuisance and a bum, and Alexander the Great just waltzes up to him and says, "I will give you anything you want."
Huh. All
and
right.
Diogenes said, "You're blocking my sun."
The first man who truly didn't give a fuck.
He really, truly did not give a fuck. And, he didn't exactly say, "You're blocking my sun," but he basically said that. What he said was, "By bending down and offering your hand to help me, you are depriving me of the one thing that you cannot give me."
That's genius.
Yes.
This is genius.
Yeah, the man was, incredibly smart, but deeply insane. And so then
one thing though, Was he deeply insane or
Yeah,
so sane that everybody around him was insane, thinking that he was insane? I'm starting to believe some things about insanity lately because
see
I'm
the
nuts.
see, this is why I'm talking about it. It's like you might be a Diogenes kind of guy. You might have to look into him. So
Yeah,
then after that,
I'm today years old about hearing who this cat is. How have I made it this long? 37 years of life, and I'd have heard this.
yeah. So then after that happened, Alexander tried to meet up with Diogenes again, but he realized that, like, maybe going through for the big grand entrance and the entourage of people probably wasn't the way to go. So he told Diogenes, "Hey, I want to meet you one-on-one in private." So Diogenes said, "Okay, fine, meet me here and we'll talk." So Alexander goes to meet him at the spot, and he said that Diogenes was just digging around with his fingers through a pile of bones, like animal bones. And Alexander went up to him and asked what he was doing, and Diogenes said, "I'm trying to find the bones of your father, but it's kind of hard picking them apart from his bones and the bones of a slave." That was word one of this fucking interaction. You know?
And
He
of
just,
course, Alexander the Great, too, the richest man to probably ever exist in the human history.
for the time, yeah, he was not someone you wanted to fuck with, and this dude just straight up insulted his dad. Like,
That's a little bit of a lesson, though, to learn in life.
yeah,
To not kiss people's asses.
yes, yeah, but he got away with it just because of the time that he lived in, though, is because even though there were societies and civilization, people still did kind of have to survive either working together or by living off of the land and hunting. That's what Diogenes did.
Yeah, I mean, when Alexander the Great shows up, he's like, "Hey, dude, what's happening?" And you're supposed to literally get on your knees and bow to Alexander the Great, the
Yeah.
greatest man to ever exist. The Great. I mean, he didn't give himself that nickname. He was no Donald Trump going around, "I'm Alexander, I'm great. I'm going to make Greece great again."
Yeah, the people called him that. Well, his people did. I don't know about the people he conquered, but
So instead of kissing his ass like every other commoner,
yeah,
he
and
he
not, not
literally
no, he
cracks a
literally just
joke about
he
his
li-
dead father.
yeah, cracks a joke about his dead dad, and then before that, just embarrassed him in front of his homies. Like, just blatantly embarrassed him and made him look like a fucking idiot in front of his entire squad. And upon both of these interactions, Alexander the Great would later say, "Were I not Alexander, I would be Diogenes."
Oh, I got you. He got
But
him
that's,
on a
but yeah,
different level.
yeah, but he's like, "I'm already who I want to be, which is Alexander the Great. But if I wasn't Alexander, I would be Diogenes because this dude is the real deal. He's the shit." Like,
Well, the other weird thing is too, probably 300 dudes before Diogenes that met him and disrespected him like that got their heads chopped off.
oh yeah, oh yeah. It definitely seemed like a weird jester's privilege sort of thing.
Yeah, like to have like knowing the consequences of not bowing to the great.
Yes.
It could be your head getting chopped off and not giving a fuck to that point. Because I'm gonna be
Well, I
honest,
guess. Yeah.
I respect Diogenes, but Alexander the Great shows up, I'm falling in line. I like my head on my body.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is that Diogenes wouldn't give a fuck if you got his if you got his respect or not. He didn't care. This dude literally had nothing. He had no material possessions, he had no money, he had no family, he had no friends. He had dogs and a barrel that he slept in. there was at one point in his life when he, like, see, the thing about that I like him as a philosopher is that there's a lot of philosophers where they say, like, oh, if we lived like this, or if we thought like this, or if we did this, then things would be better. Diogenes was the one motherfucker who literally walked what he talked, you know?
That's
And,
crazy.
yeah.
It's literally crazy.
And, yes, and there was at one point where, other than his barrel, the only thing that he had was a wooden bowl and a spoon to eat with. But then one day, when he was eating, he saw a boy cupping his hands and drinking water out of a dirty puddle. And he saw this and he went, "That boy's a genius!" and tossed the bowl and the spoon and just ate with his hands for the rest of his life. He was like, "Why the fuck do I need this?"
You know, this might be a whole other series we could get into. This is crazy.
But just talking about, like,
This guy is amazing.
well, that's kind of the thing, unfortunately, is, like, as ancient Greek philosophers go, we don't really know a whole lot about him because anything that he has published or anything that anybody has said about him has either been completely destroyed just because of how old it was, or it hasn't been discovered yet, or, it's always something.
Or it goes beyond, it goes against people's beliefs and people's ways of making money. This philosophy.
Well, yeah, but like I said, Diogenes was kind of a black sheep in the philosophy community. Was like, nobody could deny his wit or his the way that he approached his philosophy, but it was just that he really could not function in a normal society. Like, he couldn't show up to fucking philosophy meetings and discuss philosophy like a philosopher, you know what I mean? He was just so stubborn and headstrong in his ways. But anytime anybody would challenge him, he would welcome it with open arms. Just be like, "Oh, you want to challenge me? You want to have a battle of wits? Oh, okay, let's go." And that's how this motherfucker would pass time.
So what happened? What happened? So he meets Alexander the Great the second time. What happens during the meeting then?
Again, this is just based on what other people have said. So it's speculated that either it might not be true or Diogenes told it to them in passing. So if Diogenes told it to them, then it's up to you on whether you think it's true or not, because it's Diogenes we're talking about. So, Diogenes just was he kind of just did his thing. He didn't really do, like, huge impacts on history like Alexander the Great or Plato or Aristotle or Socrates did. He kind of just existed. You know what I mean? Just this guy who was in this point in time that kind of fit, but kind of didn't.
Did it say how long this man actually lived?
He was an old man when he died. He lived a long life. Nobody really knows, like, he never talked about his parents or, like, where he came from, and I don't think he ever really specified how old he was. But it was speculated that he died when he was probably in his 60s or 70s. And we still aren't really sure how he died. Some people say that he got bit by a rabid dog and the rabies killed him. Some people say that he ate some bad squid, or it was bad octopus, and the food poisoning killed him. But the joke that was said around the time of Diogenes' death was that Diogenes just decided not to live anymore. Like, he just willed himself to die.
He said, "I'm done. I've had enough."
Yeah, he just literally tapped out from life and was just like, "I'm done," and died. He just willed himself to die. That was the joke back then. Was just like, no, Diogenes just had enough and just offed himself just because he felt like it.
You know what? I see a lot of parallels to him and the writings of Hunter S. Thompson a little bit.
Yeah, except Hunter S. Thompson was heavily influenced by drugs.
Well, who knows what was going back in the day?
I mean,
He
they
could
did
have
a
been
lot of drinking, and a lot of fucking. That's all I know.
I mean, he could have been an opiate addict back then. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, they used to get high on something before Christ, or did Christ bring the drugs with him?
This is BC, brother. This is before Christ.
Well, now, 200 years from now, it's going to be AT and BT, before Trump and after Trump. The second coming of Jesus or the Antichrist. We don't know.
Or it could be neither. It's
Could
usually
be,
neither.
could be just some dude that knows how to manipulate the media to become president. It could have been that easy, right?
Yeah.
The amount of television
obviously-
shows that he was on was crazy. But getting back to, I almost weaved you out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to focus.
No worries.
So did the man, did he die in a barrel basically still at the end?
Yeah. All he had in his possession was his barrel and his dogs. That was all he had.
And I've been watching these homeless interviews a lot lately on the YouTube with guys like him now, which would be the modern day him, and they make a point. He's like, the only thing that I have to worry about is my life. I don't have to worry about paying bills. I ain't got to worry about an old lady. I don't got to worry about paying for this. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to stress about anything. I just have to not get killed by somebody out here. And, after time, people get to know you and they like you. They don't want to kill you after time. And I'm like, compared to the guy that's got the mortgage, the 3 car payments, the boat payment, the wife with the Botox and the everything. You lose your job, you're dead. Guy.
Yeah.
What life is better?
See, you're tapping into the right vein here, because there's like I said, Diogenes was a homeless guy and he lived in a barrel, but it wasn't because he had shitty circumstances. It was because he did that by choice. He actively hated society and cities and like buildings. He hated it because he viewed society and civilization as as people walking backwards on their humanity. And by that he means by building civilization, structure, home, material possessions, and stuff like that. We are taking ourselves away from nature
1,000%.
and living our lives as one with nature and the animals. That is why he lived in a barrel and why he lived with dogs.
Well, I mean, they proved during the pandemic in Los Angeles that everything was coming back. Animals were starting to come back.
Yeah.
It's like humanity can take us or leave us. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And to live a life full of stress, worrying about keeping your shit. That's my buddy Brian. It drove him to suicide. Oh, I can't say that. Sorry, YouTube bot.
We'll censor it later, or YouTube will do it for us. Whatever.
We got in so much trouble last week. Oh my god, it screwed everything up because of me.
What'd you do?
That goddamn Twisted Sister.
Oh,
in that fucking video clip.
Oh, god damn it.
That 6-second clip of Twisted Sister got us copyright struck and pulled off. I didn't realize it till 3 days later. So last week's episode is back up now. It's been edited out.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Oh God,
But this is something you want to do in the future. I can ramble on about just crazy shit that happened in history or crazy people. There's some insane stories out there if you dig deep enough.
No, I've been down his train. I think I've been down this guy's train. I didn't know that he was driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. He's kind of like a patron saint of homeless people.
I know this. I know this is going to sound crazy to everybody. I own a beautiful home. It's furnished. It's great. I don't like being in there. I like being in my little pool house here, where everything's here. The bathroom, the kitchen, it's all right here. 400 square feet of pure enjoyment. I love living like this. There's nothing to clean up. I have a maid come in and dust the main house once a week now, but other than that, nothing to clean. I drive two old shitty cars now. I drive two old.
Mr. Mr. can't afford a laptop to do a good show. Fucking maid.
Well, it's not that. It's $60 a week. It's not terribly expensive.
For $60 a week, you could clean that fucking house your goddamn self. But that defeats the purpose of the maid, I guess.
That would involve me actually getting out of bed. I do a lot of things from bed, including the show tonight. I'm in bed.
I realized how stupid that was after I said it.
I am this guy, by the way. And I'm telling you, when I had an expensive place where I was living and nice brand new cars and mortgages and all this shit I was worried about all the time, and it stresses you the fuck out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, if somebody steals my 1987 Ford F-150, good. I'll just go buy another one.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing, but the thing about Diogenes is philosophy and his beliefs, I guess you could say, is that they really only worked because he was in the point in time that he lived in. You know, he lived in Greece, so I don't think he had to worry about like freezing temperatures or like actual harsh environments that we deal with here in America. But that's the whole point of philosophy, is like it's a thought exercise. If you just think about it,
Well, it's a thought exercise, and that's basically it's everything of that from back then is used in psychology today. That it's still being profitable to this day. The teachings of these guys.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because if you know anything about Socrates, I'm not sure what he would think about that. He never really saw himself as much of anything. So the fact that he's considered like the godfather of philosophy, I don't know how he would feel about that.
Yeah, he was probably the first guy to smoke weed and just sit around and talk shit all night. Somebody just wrote it down.
That's literally it. Well, I mean, other than the weed bit. But yeah, that was literally it. It was just Socrates talking shit and Plato writing it all down.
You know, my uncle would sit at the kitchen table just in his whitey tighties and his white socks, and he would sit there with a pen and paper and a pack of Marlboro Lights, and he would sit there with a lit cigarette in his hand all day, and just sit there and write shit down on the pen and paper. 4 days later, he'd come home with like $10,000 in cash in his hand. He'd be like, "What are you doing?" Because I think best this way. I love to be in the smoke, and I love how the smoke goes all over my body. It intrigues me. I'm like, the guy's nuts, but he's rich.
Hey, man, it's only stupid if it doesn't work, right?
You know, if you told anybody, like, you be a multimillionaire, get yourself a junkyard. You're like, what are you, nuts? Do you know how many secret junkyard millionaires there are in America right now?
Oh yeah, man. That's the thing that people don't really think about. But I've seen some junkyards that are so goddamn huge. I'm like, you have to be a fucking millionaire to run this place.
At any time, too. They just got to load the shit on the train and cash in.
Yep.
I mean, they'll like give you, like my uncle used to give $800, and he'd come and get the car himself with a tow truck. And like, well, the car ain't worth nothing because the metal's worth $5,000. And you're like, what? So you're telling me my junk car is worth $5,000 if I know where to sell it? He goes, yeah. I was like, oh, fuck. All right.
Yeah, if you
It's
know
crazy.
if you have the resources and you know the right people, then yeah, you can scrap a car and just get some cold hard cash for it easy.
But how come every time I go to the scrapyard with a bunch of shit, they're like, yeah, 37 cents. There you go. You know what? That's 100 pounds of copper. I think you're ripping me off. You know,
Probably.
We did a lot of drugs and cut a lot of pipe last night. They got to be worth more than 30 cents.
Do you have any idea how many warrants are on me now for this copper? I gotta get high one more fucking time. Come on, man. Do me a solid.
I asked the guy at the scrapyard too. I'm like, why don't you guys just have a giant bag of drugs and just trade the drugs for the parts? You're going to make out way better that way.
Yeah, just streamline the process. Just make it easy.
Remember Tama back in the day, the drum company?
Mm-hmm.
Because all the metal guys were playing Tama, they were going to do a thing where you could get a free bong.
Okay.
With the Tama logo.
Nice.
And they killed it because everybody's got to stick up their ass.
Of course. Well, and when was this? This was back in the day, right?
I think it's probably 1985.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
Was reading about it.
Yeah, that's not too surprising then.
That was in the April Fool's things that I was going through tonight. And I'm like, oh my god, it's 12. I don't have enough. All right, I'll clip it for next week. That's why I hate doing this show because before we go on, all of a sudden I have 19,000 great ideas that I need clips for. But we're getting better.
Slowly but surely, we're getting better.
Just a couple of guys outside a cafe, sharing a joint and a couple of cups of coffee. Just a couple of good boys.
Nothing to see here.
So yeah, hopefully we can get the ratings back up after the snafu of last week. I don't know. It was depressing. This podcast game I'm going to tell you right now, it fucks your mental health up like crazy.
Well, I mean, it does if you actually give a fuck.
Because you go out and you build and you build and you build, and you finally think you got your audience, you think you're doing really good, and you're just killing it, and then 18 people watch the next show. What in the fuck is going on? I'm about ready to jump out the window. Thank God I'm on the ground floor.
I mean, you still could jump out the window. You won't be able to kill yourself, but I mean, nothing's stopping you from jumping out the window anyway.
Yeah, well, it's still fun to commit suicide to off yourself on a first floor window. Go ahead, Newman, jump.
Yeah, there was a fucking story that I heard where there was I go down these fucking Reddit threads sometimes of people just telling hilarious or freaky stories about shit that happened to them in the military. And one of them was like, yeah, there was this dude in basic that tried to off himself, but the way that he did it was they have like a floor buffer machine. And, so he wrapped the cord around his neck and then he tossed the floor buffer machine out the window, but the cord was way too long. So
it just flopped out.
Yeah, so he just tossed the fucking floor buffer out the window and it fucking broke, and it was way too much line. He tossed it out like a second floor window. It's like it wasn't gonna do shit, but he just broke the fucking floor buffer, and he had to explain to them like, why is the floor buffer broken? Like, well,
I'm trying to kill myself.
Yeah, I guess I tried to kill myself. It's like, oh Jesus, man.
Pause reality's popping in. Something alarming that's happened the last few weeks here. our notifications are not notifying people. But thank you for coming on, and pause. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Sorry, I don't know what happens to the notification. I don't even know. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I wish I could
I'm
give you an answer. Pause. I don't know how the fucking YouTube notification shit works. I'm not even running this shit show. This is all Johnny's fault.
It is a fucking. You don't even know how much goes into this shit to fail. You don't even understand how hard it is to fail to this point.
Yeah, that's why I'm just roasting marshmallows over this dumpster fire.
That's why last night on our show, Marco and Johnny Save the Universe was fucking glorious, bro. I left last night like I accomplished something. Like I don't know. I just felt great. What a great end.
Yeah, it really is a fucking phenomenal game, and we're talking about the our run on Mass Effect on at MarcoV193, my Twitch channel. Please check it out. We completed our run of Mass Effect 1, and next week, next Monday, we will start Mass Effect 2. And but yeah, I'm glad that you really liked it, because like we've talked about before, is like you played sports games, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just like, all right, well, maybe he'll like this. I mean, there's titties, so he'll probably like it.
I mean, the fucking last night was out of hand. I mean, it was great on there. What a video game.
Yeah.
Who would have known?
Yeah. It's the video games, like we talked about on the stream. That game is only 20 years old, but so much effort and so much work just went into that game. And for a game that's almost 20 years old, it was like, if you speed run that game and you know what you're doing, like, it would take you pretty much all day to beat that game. But that's still a very cinematic and a very compelling experience. And for it to end the way that it did, where it just like it ended you on a cliffhanger, but it ended you on a cliffhanger where you're just like, you know what, whatever the fuck's gonna happen, I know it's gonna be great.
Yep, just smoked a cigarette at the end and went, that was great.
Yeah.
It's fun because it's like watching a movie. It's no different than watching a Van Damme movie or whatever. There's nothing different. Honestly, it was better than watching most movies I've seen lately. Entertaining, intriguing, thought-provoking. I mean, unbelievable, entertaining. Something. Honestly, when you first asked me if I want to do it, I said I wanted to tell you to go fuck yourself. I ain't doing that. No way.
I half expected you to. I was surprised you said yes.
I said no way. But you know what? I'm like, let's see what you're into, because you got to be. He's a smart guy, right? There's got to be a reason you're into it. You wouldn't be wasting your time on some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had the vision of how to do it. I don't know if I'm fulfilling your vision on what you thought we were going to do. We can talk about that off here, I guess. But I said, you know what, Johnny? Just what's it going to hurt to bullshit with a guy playing with video games for an hour? For 1 hour. We're 5 hours into it. I'm like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I really got in deep.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really dug in deep and did my research and had notes written down. It was great. I loved it. It was really kept my mind working all night.
Well, now that we're talking about it, since we defeated Sovereign and the Reaper threat is still on the horizon, what do you think the second Mass Effect's going to be about?
Well, the Reapers, man, they can control. I mean, they turned, at the end.
Mm-hmm.
As he took his last breath, I kind of shed a tear last night.
What's
it
Saren?
It really wasn't Saren's fault, man. It was he had to do it. The Reapers had him, and I feel really bad now for Saren. I wanted his guts and his blood. the whole time. And at the end, when he died and took his last breath, and I found out that he was controlled by the Reapers, and it wasn't the end. I was a little sad. A little sad. It's like kind of like when the Roadrunner catches the coyote, or the coyote catches the Roadrunner, and then Seth Farland, and he's eating them. He's like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. When you immediately were like, nah, kill him. Let's get this over with. And I was like, all right, fine. And then we killed him. And then when you killed him, I did kind of hear your tone shift a little bit, where you're just like, huh, like that was a little anticlimactic. You know, it's just like, this doesn't feel like the ending, and then you're just like, no, it wasn't the ending.
No, it's just I would really like to go back. I wish they did a version where you could be Saren.
Well,
You know what
that's
I mean?
kind of the interesting thing about Mass Effect, is that yes, it is a video game series, but there are actually novels and comic books that they have made on the Mass Effect games that are either before the events of the game or run parallel with the events of the game. And there is a novel, I forget what it's called, but there's a novel that is basically Saren's backstory that explains how he stumbled across the Reapers and why he hates humans and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Kind of like Cobra Kai, you know. Where it's like now you get to see the eyes of the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but the summary for Saren is that I think it was his brother served in the first Contact War, where humanity broke into Turian space, and they responded by fucking our shit up. And so humans fought back, and I guess Saren's brother was killed in that conflict. And
Okay.
so, but the conflict was ended on a stalemate because the Asari stepped in and said that we should probably talk about this before we go wiping out this new race of aliens. But Saren obviously was still pissed off about that, and he wasn't willing to let that go. So that's why he hates humans. And when he stumbled across the Reapers and the Prothean beacon that he used to discover the vision, that's why he submitted. Was A, because he thought fighting against the Reapers was pointless, like he did say. Because I do think he was trying to come up with a solution of just like, if we just submit, then we'll be spared. He's like, no, you're fucking indoctrinated, bro. You know, it's like, that's not how that shit works.
Yeah, it's great. I love that guy. No, I don't know. A lot of action. You guys check it out Monday. I think next to Stoned, I think we'll put it together kind of a cool, maybe a highlight reel. We already got one of me barping hilariously, and one of me falling down, and I was going to load those for tonight's show, and like I said, I just lost track of time. Just like I think we're in a time warp tonight. Pause reality. Pause reality lost track of time tonight. He's in a time warp after last night's game. He was with us on that adventure. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, I'm glad you were with us for that one. Pause. I hope we were entertaining, at least. That's really what I was going for. It was like, I hope that this was entertaining. Really what I was going for was that I wanted to play that game and stream it, but I didn't really see any point in it because I played that game fucking religiously. What's the point in me streaming the game for me to just go like, yep. Uh-huh.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so if you do that, then this happens. But if you do this, then this happens. Isn't that cool? Yeah. But now that you're here and you have no idea what the fuck the game is even about,
Exactly.
It's like, well, this is a fresh playthrough. You know?
Yeah, it's a movie I've never seen before, and it's a movie we could remake over and over again. It's going to be different. That's the awesome part of it.
Yeah, I already have something else. I already have something else in mind for when we eventually get through Mass Effect 3, and I know it's something that you will appreciate for sure. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, we're going to play a game, one night on Two Stone that I found. It's an erotic game where you talk to ladies at the bar. It's great.
I was gonna say, isn't this for episode 69?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, that'd be a great episode 69. I know I have it downloaded on my PlayStation 3.
Your
It's a
PS3.
sex game that they had. It was out for a week and then they banned it. Oh, I gotta find. I think I'm the only man that probably got paid for it. So I'm gonna try to go to my storage and try to find that, bring that back out. That'd be fun to play along with.
That
Okay.
would that. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Cause like I can't really think of anything like that was on the PS3. I'll have to look it up. Like I mean, obviously it probably isn't around anymore, but somebody has to have it. You can't be the only motherfucker that has it.
No, but yeah, I know they sold maybe 3-4 copies. It was a terrible game.
Oh, you don't say.
Something about Night Phoenix. Boy, I don't remember. Next week, I'll have some more for you. Some more information.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those erotic video games where it's nothing but like it's nothing just but a sex game. Like there are games like Mass Effect where like yeah, there's sex in the game, but then there are sex games, and there's so many of them that I'm just like I really don't see any fucking point in this. And I'm a dude that loves video games. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like
Just to keep.
I don't see any point of it. It's like it's either fucking Bejeweled, but there's tits for some reason, or it's some fucking RPG kind of thing where I'm just like, all right, so how does this work? I hold the controller with one hand and jerk off with the other. Like, what's the point in this?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
remember
get it.
the. I still got a few of those DVDs of the adult version of pornography DVDs where you can choose your own adventure.
Of course, they have choose your own adventure porno. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, and it's like, let this girl in, yes or no. They should. Okay, business idea 958. A game where the woman either kills you or has sex with you.
Or like a femme fatale sort of game where you have to sniff out if this woman's gonna kill you or not.
Yeah, just by talking to her, getting clues. Because every man will take that chance. There's a 50-50 chance you're going to get murdered or get laid. You're like, I like those odds.
And you know what? That actually isn't that half bad of an idea. You probably could make a video game out of that. There are some video games that are kind of similar to that you could easily turn into a like a stalker girlfriend simulator where like yeah, like you could I'm thinking of it now. It's like you set up like it's like a first date sort of thing where you meet up at like a fancy restaurant or whatever, and you have like a bunch of questions that you can ask her. Depending on her answers, you have like your phone under the table so you can like look at it and keep notes. If she says something like it's like, oh yeah, my birthday's on April the 22nd, you could pull up her socials and be like, says she was born in March, why is this bitch lying to me? You know?
It's like she's out for something. Maybe a
Yeah,
kidney.
she's out for something. She wants my kidneys.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap up the April 1st, I guess, segment because it is almost over.
Yeah,
7 minutes left of April Fool's.
7 more minutes of April Fools.
Now, I think the greatest April Fool's radio prank of all time that got 2 guys fired was Opie and Anthony in Boston.
When they said that the mayor of Boston died in a plane crash.
Yeah, check this out. And check out young Opie and Anthony.
For real.
Hoax by 2 radio disc jockeys. Tonight, those DJs are apologizing.
If you get stupid,
David
get that off of there, idiot.
Mr. Menino is not interested in apologies.
Oops.
One of my relatives was just coming out of the hospital, and somebody called who asked her, we do anything for your family?
See it, but I don't hear it.
And she was shocked.
It's old footage. That's the mayor saying that his wife heard that he died.
On April
I am the goop.
who like to refer to themselves as demented, told their
Demented.
Menino had been killed in a car accident. At the time,
God, look at fucking
wife Angela
Anthony.
thought her husband was in a car on the way to the airport, so she thought it was true. When the mayor's staff heard about the prank, they demanded a retraction.
We asked them to pull it, and they said, no, we're not going to pull it. And they said, no, we're going to go along and go ahead with it. Then we called the general manager back and we take our phone.
Why does the reporter look so pissed?
I'm guessing that Anthony had a nose job.
Yeah. I
Look at Opie. He looks like he's a fucking guitar player of Nickelback or something.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool looking cat. What a goof. Oh my God, those two guys. Anthony with that ponytail.
Anthony looked like every fucking roadie for a metal band in the 80s.
We apologize to the mayor and his family. I am sorry, mayor and family. Seriously.
I will not accept the apology this time because they went too far. I have a great sense of humor, and but this is
I have a great sense of humor.
This is not a laughing matter at all.
Now, the mayor plans to file a complaint with the FCC, and he may even sue the radio station. Management says they often the mayor throw pies in the DJ's faces to raise money for charity, but tonight Opie and Anthony told me they will not go along with that. Sean?
Come on. I don't know if you heard that, but the radio station wanted to have the mayor throw pies in their face.
How is that going to solve anything?
I don't know. We called the mayor and we go, I don't know. You want to maybe throw some pies in their face or something? I love the 90s.
What are you gonna fucking put him under the fucking the wooden like neck and wrist restraints and fucking throw tomatoes at them like they're the fucking town fool or something?
We're gonna put some pies in your face. I don't know. I mean that April Fool's just it never goes good. the gags.
No, all the good gags that just get you in trouble.
So imagine you and me. We got our own show. Johnny comes up with an idea. Who would be Opie in this scenario?
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of Opie in me. I'm starting to kind of figure out.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm the only guy that finds me funny. He's the only guy that finds him funny.
Okay, that is good. That is a notable comparison. I'm
good at running a show. I'm not good at doing a show. You know what I'm saying? But we just get on and say, yeah, we just heard the mayor died in a car accident. Rest in peace. And I think they did. They think they played the song "Dead and Bloated" right after that. Honestly, from Stone Temple Pilots.
I'm not sure, but they did play some fucking song out of nowhere. But yeah, it was literally like a minute, 2 minutes, saying like, "Oh no, the mayor of Boston's dead. Here's fucking
here's Dead Bloated from Stone Temple Pilots." On my birthday, deathbed. Oh God! They got fired for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it does raise the question of like, can you imagine how many times somebody that has to have happened like legitimately, where like someone's going for like oh boy, I can't be late for this meeting, and then they get fucking hit by a bus or something. and then there's like what happened to Terry? Is like, oh, he got hit by a bus, and it's like, right, yeah, sure, he got hit by a bus. Yeah, tell me that tomorrow and see if I believe you. And then you show up the next day, it's like, where's Terry? Got hit by a fucking bus, dude. What the
fuck? Fucking idiots.
You fucking idiot. What do you mean?
Oh, April Fool's Day. Have you ever played an April Fool's joke that went bad?
Went bad? No, but I was like maybe like a couple steps away from it. I remember my dad would prank me and my brother all the time. Even when we were kids, he would prank us all the time. And so one day, me and my brother got the bright idea where we woke up one day to go to school, and our school was like within walking distance. So, my dad slept in. And so we had this,
I love your
so we
dad.
had this old, yeah. So we had this old crib that we just had like just stashed away because my aunt was living us at one point when we still had the crib. So we came up with this great idea where it's like, oh wait, the door to Dad's bedroom is it opens into the room. So we wedged the crib under the doorknob so that when he would pull, the crib would be blocking like from the outside. And so we trapped him in his room, and so we set it up and we trapped him, and then we were just like, all right, high five, and we went to school, and it wasn't until like I think it was around when I was like eating lunch, and I was kind of just sitting there and thinking about it, and I was just like, oh wait a minute, I gotta go home after this, and I met up with my brother after school. We were walking home, and we were both just looking at each other like, "We're so dead, aren't we?" We're like, "Yeah, we're so dead. Oh, we're so dead." And so we go in, and
Oh God! Oh my God!
my mom tells me what happened was my dad woke up and he tried to open the door, and it was obviously blocked, and he he was spending like hours trying to rip the fucking door open to the point where he was even debating like just taking the fucking hinges off and taking the door off. And if it wasn't for the fact that my mom had to come home from work because she forgot something, my dad would have ripped the fucking door off of the wall. And so she told us this, and she's like, he's downstairs. He wants to talk to you. And we're just like,
Oh no!
oh God, no. And so we just sat down on the couch, and then my dad just sat down across from us, and he just had this straight face, and he just stared at us for a couple of minutes, and then he just went, all right, that was good.
Oh no!
Don't do it again. he just straight up was just like, he's like, all right, that was a good one. You got me. You do it again, I will fucking skin you. It's just like, just straight up. But he at least admitted, let's just like, no, it's like this. I'm not gonna fucking tear into you now. I'm not gonna say I didn't deserve this, but you really fucked up my day. You know? So yeah, we were like 2 steps away from getting a fucking certified ass whooping. But again, like I said, my dad fucked with us all the time, so he was again just like, I really should fucking whoop your asses for this, but I did have this coming for a long time.
God, you and your brother. Oh God, thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God
yeah,
I'll never have kids. It's just two brothers against the dad. There's no match.
yeah.
Dad's outnumbered.
Well, my dad isn't necessarily outnumbered. He's a big, strong dude. My dad always told me that the best advice he ever gave me was don't get married until you're at least 40. That's that's his advice. But then the other one is if you do get married, you should never have more kids than you do hands. And you know what? I find that is incredibly true because there are so many times that I remember my dad either wrestling me to chase after my brother or vice versa, but then I bump into people that have more than 2 kids, and it's damn near fucking impossible to try and wrangle all these kids.
Yeah, I don't know how them people had like 10, 12 kids.
Yeah, I
Kind of psycho. Needs that kind of love.
I don't know. I guess if you have a fucking legacy to uphold, I guess I have no fucking clue, man. But yeah, it's and then there's some people that just end up with fucking quadruplets or quintuplets or octuplets or something like that, where you're just like, yeah, I'm thinking we might have 1 or 2 kids, and then you go to the doctor's like, guess what? You're having 6 of them
Oh,
all at
no.
once.
I wonder how the Octomom is doing.
You know what?
I
I hadn't thought about her. I imagine her kids are probably all grown up by now, right?
Yeah, I know she eventually did porn. I think she has an OnlyFans, maybe. Who wants
Uh,
to see? I don't want to see anything that ate things shot out of, personally. But
well, didn't she get a cesarean? I could have sworn
oh,
she got a cesarean.
that's true. Maybe I got some clips of her. We ain't gonna play that on here.
Probably a safe bet.
Yeah, I'm not infatuated with the Octomom or anything.
Yeah, dude, I haven't thought about the Octomom probably since the news was talking about her, and that was over 20 years ago.
Oh, the good old Octomom. What else we got? You fucking. I'm trying to say. All the April 1st pranks do not go well.
No, not the funny ones. They start off funny, but the point of a prank is that you got to find the right target is the thing. If you're just fucking with random people, then yeah, that's how you get fucking shot. But if you're fucking with your buddies and you know what level of intensity that you can fuck with them, then it's a great time. But there are just sometimes where you just end up crossing a line that you didn't know about, and then you end up fighting the guy. You know?
Yep. I hate when you're busting balls and all of a sudden your friend starts tearing up. Oh no. Oh. Ooh, too far, huh? I guess
Yeah,
talking.
so
I guess your dead dad's off limits. Okay. So I guess.
there's the fucking my brother does that shit all the time because he has a terrible memory. But I have a friend of mine who every now and then my brother jumps into our gaming sessions, and my brother always makes comments about like he's like, oh yeah, well your dad thinks I'm cute, just like saying shit like that. Just to fuck with people, but he says that all the time to my buddy whose dad died when he was like 3, you know. But yeah, he always says shit like that where he's like, "Oh yeah, well I fucked your dad," and he's like, "He's still dead, by the way." Oh right.
Yeah. Well, we dig them up once a year.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, when someone has a dead family member, that really does kill every fucking joke. It really does. Like anytime he's like, "Oh yeah, well I fucked your mom," he's like, "Well, my mom died of cancer 5 years ago." He's like, "Oh, well, shit. Now I'm the asshole." Yeah.
One guy goes, my mom weighs over 400 pounds, right? And I was like,
Uh,
oh.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
How do you
Why do
think
you
I
think
know that?
Yeah. I like the smell of wet garbage in the morning. Oh, God. All right. Well, I guess we got to get our final 4 out of the way and we'll get out of here tonight.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
And, we'll do the show content now at the end. I'm a great producer, everybody. Did we lose the brackets? We did not lose the brackets. Come on, man. Those brackets have been golden. I
It
don't know.
doesn't
We
really
want to
matter.
know.
There's only 4 of them. I remember them.
Yeah. Do we really need the bracket 8?
Yeah,
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, so the final 4, we came down. It was a furious, intense fight.
Yes, we had a lot of contenders, and there were some on the list that I did kind of scratch my head of like, why the fuck are these even here? But it did boil down eventually to our 4 picks of the greatest television shows that were on the roster here, and it boiled down to South Park, Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Malcolm in the Middle. Now, I don't think that it's necessarily fair that Larry David gets a 50-50 shot of winning this. So what do you say we instead of pitting Seinfeld against Curb Your Enthusiasm, what if we do, let's say,
well, it'd be on that bracket. The way the brackets were set up, it would be Seinfeld versus Malcolm.
oh, okay. So, yeah. All right, so then it would be Seinfeld versus Malcolm, and then South Park versus Curb Your Enthusiasm. God damn, that's fucking hard. God.
Yeah, all week I've been weighing Curb all week. I'm like, God, Curb is so good.
Yeah,
But
it really is.
So is fucking South Park.
Yeah, but the thing that I will say about South Park, and this is not me talking shit about South Park at all. I love South Park. But there are a lot of episodes, especially in the earlier seasons, where you could tell that they were doing shit just purely for the shock factor. And
yes.
for the 90s and the early 2000s, like, yeah, sure, that shit worked and it did what it was supposed to. But in hindsight, it just kind of just feels... I don't know, it just feels kind of unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like, it just...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you already have this fucking controversial show that's supposed to push all boundaries or whatever. He's like, but then we're just gonna crank it even more for some reason. We're just gonna throw shit and puke and vomit and blood and like all this other shit thrown into there just because we feel like it. And
yeah.
but
yeah,
again,
I know
that's kind of the point of South Park. That was the charm. But for lack of a better phrase, but when you put it up against a show that's like Curb Your Enthusiasm, even though it is fucking ridiculous, it is a lot more centered into the world of an absurd human being. Even though it is a crazy and unrealistic depiction of reality, it is a lot more realistic depiction of a real situation in a real scenario than South Park. But again, that's the fucking point of South Park, is that it's a mockery of reality.
Yeah, I mean, when I start thinking about Curb, just the when he was going down on his wife and she had the powder down there.
The fucking thousand powder.
He spit it. I between those two, I'm going Curb. I am between those two. I'm sorry, South Park fans. Where's Nas Roz on pause on this? I don't know. You don't know. You don't know. I don't know, man. It's crazy because they both run about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
The last few years of the running, we don't know when the fuck they're going to be on.
Yeah, and I will say that at least Curb Your Enthusiasm ended on a high note, and it lasted a lot longer than it fucking did, and I thought that show was gonna fall out a lot sooner, but I feel like it ended when it did, and it ended on a good note, and South Park is still going to this fucking day, and I haven't seen every episode, or excuse me, I haven't seen every season of South Park. I've seen damn near every season. And I will say, there does hit a point when you're watching South Park and it just becomes a slog. And you're just like, alright, whatever, this episode was pretty fine. Alright, this one was alright. This one was good. You know.
I have a South Park. To me, there was a point where you got off work and you ran home and you turned on Comedy Central because fucking South Park was on that week. I mean,
yes.
There was no. You were running home to see that. This is before DVR and all that shit. When South Park first started, it was an event. Mm-hmm. Everybody you hung out with would talk about it. You go to school the next day after South Park. everybody would talk about it. Everybody.
And let's not forget the South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yes, that was great.
Fucking fantastic. That's one that I love to pull up on people when someone asks me. He's like, "What's your favorite musical?" It's like, "Oh, the South Park movie."
Yeah, absolutely. That was a musical that was actually digestible for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, same as Team America. I mean, come on, those guys are.
Well, it's the same group. It's basically the same fucking thing.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, God. All right. This is. I don't know. I don't know.
We got a pause here. It says, "I'm undecided as well. I think a tie is fair." I know a tie is fair, but that defeats the point of the bracket. Pause. We need to pick one.
Well, let's think of Stu. Now let's look on the other side of the bracket. We got Malcolm and Seinfeld. I think.
See, okay, This may seem like a knee-jerk reaction, but hear me out on this.
Okay.
I'm picking Malcolm.
Whoa! Wow!
But the reason why is because I remembered watching Seinfeld when it was on TV when I was a kid, and there was a lot of things that went over my fucking head when I was a kid. But that's the whole point, is that the show wasn't meant for fucking kids. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But Malcolm in the Middle is a show that, regardless if you have a family, or if you are a kid, or a teenager, or an adult, or whatever, the whole cast is perfectly set to where whoever you are in life, there's someone in there that you can visualize yourself in and that you can relate to. And it's a lot more palatable towards everybody as opposed to Seinfeld, where I'm not talking shit about Seinfeld at all. I love Seinfeld, and I'm not trying to just shoot it in the head old Yeller style and call it a day. I'm just saying that Seinfeld is definitely catered to a more specific kind of comedy and a specific kind of audience. And I think it's a little bit more lost in today's world. Whereas I think Malcolm in the Middle is a little bit more of a timeless, not, I'm not going to say it's like a timeless classic, but I think it's something that is like a staple of this point in time, much like Seinfeld. But I feel like it did it in a much more of a broad kind of way,
I got you there. Really thinking about that. I think you got a point there.
And also, you could tell in the later seasons of Seinfeld where Larry David had nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, when Spike Bernstein took over, there wasn't too many good episodes left in the tank at the end.
Yeah. Eventually, Seinfeld just got filled with nothing but like movie and pop culture references, and then it just got wacky.
Yeah, it kind of got that Big Bang kind of vibe where if you take the laugh track away, is it funny?
I still think it was. It still had some good moments. But again, that's kind of what I mean. Is like without Seinfeld, there would be no Curb, and I don't want to talk shit about Seinfeld at all. But if you put up against Malcolm, is like I think more people consider Malcolm in the Middle to be more palatable than Seinfeld, just on a general consensus.
Yeah, I think Seinfeld was more digestible because it wasn't so sitcom-y.
And also it didn't. The episodes weren't that long. They were like fucking 20 minutes, if that.
Yeah. Malcolm too. Malcolm really did a good. Yeah, all right. You got me. Okay, I think I'm putting Malcolm into the finals with you. I think I'm with you on that now. Thinking about it.
All right.
Because Malcolm in the Middle was a show with kids, but it wasn't a kid show.
Right.
Like I hate shows with kids that like sugarcoat everything. Like Roseanne. I don't know how Roseanne didn't make it through farther, but like Roseanne or like there was kids on Roseanne, but it really wasn't about the kids.
Right. Yeah. It's but Malcolm in the Middle is like it was sort of a sitcom, but it was sort of like a parallel story sort of thing. Where like it was mostly about the kids, but the adults had their own shit going on that was going on the side, and sometimes they would collide together, or it was the neighbors that had some fucking shit going on. You know what I mean? It's like there was actually a lot of structure into a lot of the writing that went into that show, and you can really tell.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, okay, Seinfeld. You made it to the final four, but you're gone. Adios, racist
I
Kramer.
I know, man. That breaks my heart to say Kramer's my fucking favorite, man. I love Kramer, but Malcolm, that's my vote.
Okay, Malcolm. So now we got to go back to this other bracket.
Curb or South Park, and you know, I think I'm going to stick with my original thought with Malcolm versus Seinfeld, and I'm going to pick with Curb on this one for the same logic and the same reason. Is that even though South Park is fucking hilarious and I love it, it is still very much a very particular sense of humor catered to a very specific kind of person. There's a lot of
Yes.
people that I know that fucking hate South Park with a burning passion just because it's purely just for shock value and shock humor and grosses you out and says stupid shit. And I get that. It's not for everybody. But you could also argue that Curb Your Enthusiasm is made for nobody in particular but Larry David. But that's why it's great.
Yep. Pause. He's Malcolm in the middle too. So I think we made the right decision there. So yeah, I know what you're saying there. The my Curb Your Enthusiasm story. I'll remember it like the first episode, like night and day, because it was on 9/11.
Yeah.
That day, 9/11, September whatever 9/11,
September
and
11th, 2001.
yeah, 2001, and it was just news all day, and those planes crashing all day, all day, all day, and then over on HBO, this new show, Curb Your Enthusiasm's on. Season 1, episode 1. HBO didn't give a fuck, and they ran it. And I'm like, I remember laughing so hard and just forgetting about 9/11. I think I was 14 at the time, maybe 13 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember laughing and forgetting about 9/11. That's my first introduction to Curb.
As opposed to South Park, where when 9/11 happened, they constantly made jokes about it, which of course they
Yes.
did. It's South Park.
That's what they do.
Right. But that's the thing about South Park is that if you watch South Park and you're a fan of South Park, you don't exactly know what to expect, but you kind of do.
Yeah, and the thing with South Park is the kind of show that you watch once a week. South Park's not something you're going to watch 6, 7 episodes in a row, like you can Curb.
Right. Yeah. Yes. South Park gets draining when you try to binge watch it.
It's like Beavis and Butthead. It's only 8 minutes long because that's all we need.
Exactly.
That Beavis and Butthead movie was so bad. But thank God we got King of the Hill out of it. All right. Another sad elimination out of the tournament, King of the Hill. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that one was sad. All right, so we got the finals here, which is Curb Your Enthusiasm versus Malcolm in the Middle.
Let's just recognize the game of Malcolm in the Middle. A show wasn't even on my radar when we started this, and this little 16th seed has made it Cinderella story to the finals.
Yes.
Oh wow! Wow. Okay. Yep.
So now this is where this is going to get tricky because I'm going to tell you now what my vote is, and it may shock you. I don't know.
Okay.
But my vote is Curb. And the reason for that being is, again, I voted for Malcolm in the Middle last time, so obviously I love that show. But it's the nostalgia that I have for that show can only carry me so far.
Yeah.
There comes a point where I could probably watch Malcolm in the Middle front to back all episodes and enjoy myself and have a good time. But that's kind of the point of a show like that, is to kind of to take you away from the world around you and just kind of to put yourself in this plane of existence where you're following around this family. And but with Larry David is like, it's kind of like it's a it's like a weird parallel reality where everything is the same, but it's through Larry David's perspective. So everything is so vastly insane. Everything that he does is wrong. Everything he says is wrong. And but the reason why I picked Curb over Malcolm is because even though there is some hilarious and great shit that Malcolm in the Middle does, it's still very safe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
it's but that's by design. It's a TV show. It's meant for families. Like, that's the point. But
it with an
Curb,
edge. There was an edge to it. It wasn't like completely squeaky clean, but it was clean with an
right.
edge.
It was just enough, just the right amount. But with Curb, it's like what's that phrase? It's finally someone is saying what they're thinking. Someone is
Yes.
saying the quiet part out loud. Like,
Yeah, because everybody's been in that situation where you just want to go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
yes, that's why I love that show, is because it literally calls out all of this social bullshit that we deal with. And every season I go through is just like, oh fuck, I remember that shit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, episodes where he takes a hooker to the ball game.
Just see for a fucking carpool.
One of his friends is a porn star, which Better Call Saul.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going. There's nothing going to be funnier than Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't think ever. I don't.
No, I don't think so. I think Larry David, like, he obviously did great with Seinfeld, and that show is fucking great. I will praise that show to the day I die. But Curb Your Enthusiasm really is his magnum opus. Like, this is what he was meant to do, and this is what he built up his entire career for, is to do this show.
Yeah, I think so. Just his attitude, just the way he sees things. I'm just trying to picture in my mind if there was a season where I didn't quite dig as the other ones, and I'm thinking.
Really, the only seasons that I didn't like are like the early seasons, but that was only because Leon wasn't there until like season 5 or something. But again, I really try not to judge shows really too harshly on the first seasons, because I'm just like, it's the first season. They're trying to figure out what the fuck they're even doing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and when you go back in time that long ago too, it's hilarious back then. Sometimes it doesn't hold up. It's like, well, yeah, of course the kid's trans. Big deal. Back then it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the only season I didn't enjoy was the one where he did the musical with David Schwimmer and
musical.
Yeah, and, it was still good, but out of all the seasons, I would say that was the weakest one, maybe in my opinion. But
actually, you just reminded me. Curb Your Enthusiasm has the one thing that no other show, not even Seinfeld, has.
And that is
a Seinfeld reunion.
That's right. That was great. I love that. That was
yes. That's probably my premise, is that the entire season is, yeah, let's do a Seinfeld reunion episode. That's the whole show, is setting up a Seinfeld reunion episode that never happened.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that was great. Telling Kramer he had Groat's disease. Why is he wearing that hat? Well, I told him you got to keep it on at all times or you're going to die.
Yeah.
What, Leon? Oh, I don't know nothing about that fucking groats. Seems to be having that hat on, no, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had to pretend he was fucking. He had to pretend he was Jewish to go and talk to him. He's like,
God.
so you're Jewish, huh? Oh yeah, I'm bar mitzvah and everything. I got bar mitzvah 5 times. Really? Yeah. Well, I thought you only got bar mitzvah once when you turned like 15. He's like, oh well, no, it's every 15 years. You gotta have a bar mitzvah again. You gotta revitalize the mitzvah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the show because it's all improvised, no script. It's just people
Right.
being funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I am confident that we picked the right show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, as the greatest sitcom comedy of all time.
As far as the brackets that we have had listed in the past go, I think, yeah. I had a feeling that Curb was going to end up in the finals, but I had no idea it was going to end up winning in the end.
I didn't either. I looked at it originally. I'm like, Seinfeld's got it. When we started this,
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we doing this? Seinfeld's got it.
I thought for sure Seinfeld was going to win this, but of course Curb Your Enthusiasm had to make it to the end. Of course it did.
Yeah, greatest show. The original Curb Your Enthusiasm movie, great.
Yeah.
I had the movie he made for HBO. What's it called? I can't remember, but he was the guy that basically he wrote a script. He was basically the guy that was I had a Tesla or whatever, and then before it went big, he told the boss to go fuck himself. And then that day after, the cars were worth like $9 billion.
Yeah.
He lost all of that money, and he had to go back to live with his mom. He lost all his hair. Oh, that was great. He's so fucking funny, that guy.
Yeah, it'll be a sad day when he dies, but I think he'll be like Jimmy Carter, where he'll live to be like 112 somehow.
Yeah, I mean, anger seems to keep you alive for a long time for some reason. Maybe it makes your blood circulate better. I don't know.
It really does. I don't know what it is. It's like everybody who lives to be 100, they always seem to be the most irritable people. And I don't know, man. Maybe if I lived to be 100, I would be an irritable piece of shit too. I don't know.
Yeah, I still can't believe last night I said I wanted to have sex with a 100-year-old lady, but that's how bad the drugs are doing to my brain. All right.
And we got some good content out of it.
Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, the champ Larry David, you get another award, which I'm sure you give a big fuck that 2 guys that are stoned in the middle of the night are talking about you, but...
Yeah. Someone clip this and send this to Larry David. I'm sure he'll greatly appreciate it.
Now, I was going to address a certain podcaster that wrote something smirky at the beginning of our podcast, but you know what? I am going to mention his name.
Exactly. Why even bother?
To quote a famous man, a famous, bright man, have fun in your wheelchair prison, motherfucker. God damn, John. Oh, John. Oh.
Well, I wheel this back around to our Mass Effect playthrough then. I'll impart on you some Krogan wisdom. I'm not sure if we'll find this character in Mass Effect 2. Maybe we will. But he has one of my favorite quotes. How does it go? He will suffer a punishment that any enemy fit for any enemy to be ignored. Like that is the greatest insult to any enemy is to be ignored.
It is. When I talk shit about people and they don't mention anything, it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Makes me really mad. Why are you ignoring me? Why can't I get a reaction out of you?
Yes, it's 100% true. If you just ignore them and you don't do anything and you don't say anything, then yeah, it pisses them off because what are you it's like you said. They just straight up be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you doing anything?" No, because
Yeah.
you're not worth my fucking time. I don't give a shit. Go away.
Yeah. I like to leave people scratching their heads after they're dealing with me in altercations.
Is that why you go with a bipolar shepherd?
Yeah, I do. I go completely bipolar shepherd in real life too.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna get to tonight? I think so. We'll have some clips from the show from the first highlights from the first season, and catch us for the second Mass Effect 2 this Monday at let me do the math here, 10 p.m. West Coast. We're going backwards from here on out. 11 Mountain, 12 Central, 1 a.m. East Coast. Monday,
Yes.
Marco V, MARCOVEE 193 over on Twitter and the Twitch channel over the Twitch. We love Twitch. We
Yes.
Twitch it up. We're live on Twitch now.
Yeah, we're trying to Twitch it up. Check me out on Twitch, Marco V193. Our last playthrough is up on the profile, and check it out. And yeah, check us out on that profile next Monday, 10 p.m. Pacific time, where we will start our playthrough of Mass Effect 2, and I'm very fucking excited about that.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, I am, and you'll understand why. It's my favorite of the trilogy.
I can't wait. I'm excited for Monday, and of course Tuesday we'll be back here bringing you the laughter, the fun, the education, the laughs, the cries, the laughs and the lies. Every Tuesday night at 1 a.m. East, 12 Central, 11 Mountain, and 10 p.m. Tucson. And of course tomorrow night, MHH News Desk, and Thursday night, of course, everybody's favorite show, the Marijuana Happy Hour. And this weekend, we'll address the Corey situation. Holy shit.
Oh, boy.
Oh, fucking Corey. Oh, God. All right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have time to address Corey tonight. And, of course, we have the playlist, MHH Johnny's Fix, over on Spotify and YouTube Music. We might actually talk to a developer and put a cool video game up on our website one of these days. I think that'd be a cool day. I don't know.
Or like a text-based choose-your-own-adventure thing?
Yeah, like an Oregon Trail, but for pussy. That can't be hard to program, right?
I mean, Oregon Trail was invented on like the Commodore 64 or some shit. So yeah, I think it probably could be very easily done.
Wouldn't that be kind of cool and retro and something no one's ever seen before? Man, business idea 971. Just like the great Sammy Hagar said, high hopes, but they're up in smoke.
Sharks. Yeah, hi, Sharks. Here's my pitch. So you know Oregon Trail? All right, imagine that, but with pussy. Give me $1 million. $1
million with pussy.
$1 million to make a video game about Oregon Trail, but with pussy.
I'd probably hire a guy at Fiverr for what, $50 maybe to make something, right?
For something that easy, yeah, I'd find a programmer that could probably make that happen. I mean, we'd have to iron out the details, I'm sure, but yeah, for something that fucking simple, it could probably be done.
Isn't there? There's got to be an AI program that can create a video game, right?
I mean, probably. There's I know that there's a free program that people use to make video games. It's called RPG Maker.
Okay.
It basically just gives you the freedom to like make your own video games using a top-down, like Final Fantasy dungeon crawler kind of perspective, sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So, again, I only know it by name. I've never fucked with it. I'm not sure how it works, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was a way that you could incorporate AI into a program like that.
That's true. Oh, I'm looking into it. We're going to have a video game, goddamn. We're going to have shoes and video games. What am I, 12? We're going to have shoes and video games and candy bars and
pizzas.
Okay, one question before we leave tonight. The question of the week. There's a new segment here because I loaded the graphic up and I want to use it before we leave.
Okay.
You're ordering a pizza right now. What's on it?
Pizza right now. I'm getting obviously the red tomato sauce. Pizza must have tomato sauce. I don't give a shit who you are. But I'm getting pepperoni, bacon, olives, jalapenos, and maybe onions if I'm feeling fancy.
Damn, man, you got that young boy gut.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're ordering half that and half pepperoni. That's all I get. That's it ever.
Just sticking to the classics, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I usually go cheese, but if I go with one topping, it's pepperoni. But I like just a cheese pizza. I'm a basic boy.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You like what you like. I won't fault you for that.
Now I like doing half and half. Do you like that? Like some people won't do that with me, and it makes me. I'm like, why wouldn't you do that? Why do we have to buy two pizzas? Well, your toppings chip over on mine. I'm like, I don't have any toppings. There's pepperoni on your side. What's going to happen? More pepperoni for you? Hey, half and half.
The only time I've ever really done half and half is if I'm ordering pizza for like a group of friends or family or something like that. If I'm ordering pizza for myself, then I just get the same thing on the whole pizza.
Yeah, sometimes if I really get crazy and I don't have a lot of money, I'll order a half and half pizza because then you have two different meals.
See, I'm not sure that's how that works, but okay.
All right, that's all we have for tonight. I think we went on quite the journey tonight, all over the place, but we got back and we finished up.
Yeah.
It's April Fool's every day.
Yeah, I discovered something about myself. I actually liked Malcolm in the Middle a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, no shit. I want to rattle off, my dark horse was Workaholics.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think lack of exposure to you, I think, really killed the vibe on that one.
Yeah, that's really what killed it. I really haven't seen a whole lot of that show. This really was the downfall.
Yeah, 2.5 Men. I thought would have made it deeper into the playoffs, but they got knocked out early.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't have been a mediocre show to begin with, and then fall off when they got rid of Charlie Sheen.
Oh, that was the worst. Oh my god, that last year when they brought the little kid on.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, what are you doing? I fucking hate you now. I hate you. Stop this.
That show went on for way too fucking long, man.
Oh god, it was bad at the end. A lot of the shows killed themselves at the end. But all right, well, we'll get out of here tonight. We're not gonna take up more pauses time. I think we've punished this man for 5 hours this week. I think he's had enough. But thank you, Paz, for hanging out with us tonight. Always the best third mic on the air.
Yes,
third
absolutely.
Mic. He's the best unmiked third mic ever. All right, and I'm just begging for time here to find the outro.
All right.
Anything else you got before we leave tonight?
Just look up at Marco V on Twitch and on X. To find the Mass Effect playthrough that'll be on Twitch, and yeah, next week I'll get some videos slapped together of our past sessions, just so we can showcase what you guys are missing and why you should join up and see what we're doing on Twitch on Mondays. So yeah, Marco V193 on X and Twitch, and also subscribe to MHH Network on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch, so you can watch the MHH Network and the Marijuana Happy Hour.
Yes, 420 party coming soon, people.
Absolutely.
I'm not going nuts this year. We're gonna do 45 minutes, and I'm out. Doing 20, doing this shit no more 12 hours. I ain't doing it no more. It's too much. Thought about it?
I just need one day to myself, god damn it.
Oh, God. We did 20 hours once. Me and Nikki together. Me and Nikki did 20 hours.
And at what point did you want to strangle each other?
We wanted to keep going.
Oh, damn.
We couldn't keep anything charged anymore. Everything overheated. This is just starting to really put a nip in my chaff. What the fuck is that even?
I don't know, nipping your chaff. What the fuck is that even? What kind of old man saying is that?
That's not a saying that's ever existed.
So not only is it old man gibberish, it's old man gibberish you just made up.
Yeah, apparently my brain is gone, bro. I'm really thinking about brushing my teeth with chicken toothpaste. All right, finally.
Like I said, I tried at least once.
I just want that toothbrush. That's badass.
Yeah, KFC electronic toothbrush.
His smile, so you get the smile of the Colonel.
Yeah. They should give me that shit if you become a manager. You get an electric KFC toothbrush.
Okay. How many times have you pretended to be Buckethead while you're mopping up at the end of the night?
Well, that depends on what manager's on the clock. If they're cool, then yeah, I put it on like the last hour of the shift.
Yeah, Buckethead, the best. All right,
absolutely.
I found it. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Come hang out with us on Monday over on Twitch.
A rare dime hidden
where
for
Johnny
decades
Shepard
sells
will
for
ride
over
again and save the
$500,000.
galaxy
An extraordinary rare
again.
dime whose whereabouts
Hey,
have
watch
remained a
fucking
mystery
Lorenzo's
since
show
the
for
late
fuck's sake. God
1970s
damn
has
it.
just sold for just
That's
over
all funny and that's all
$500,000. Who needs
kayfabe. If you're not
dimes
going to
when you
listen
got
to us, go
fucking-
listen to him,
You got that
please.
sticky, icky. Ooh, ooh.
It's like nobody knows who the funniest people on Earth is anymore. He is.
Subscribe.
This is all
to That Is All
unintentional.
Funny.
I know, we tried to be funny and we failed miserably. This dude isn't even trying. He's hilarious.
Sticky, icky. Sticky, icky. Sticky, icky.
I don't think I'll ever get tired of this song.
I will. This isn't number one right now. I don't know.
That's the real dimes you need, right? You don't need.
It's kind of crazy to think about, like, if I got struck by lightning,
You need that
if I walked
Abraham
outside right now, this
Kush,
probably would be the
dog.
greatest thing
You
I
need to
ever
smoke the
did.
fucking the Gettysburg.
Yeah, because apparently your other
Address and
project's
shit, you know what
taking
I'm saying?
18 years to
You
get
need
done.
that shit that frees the slaves, motherfucker.
Hey man,
Underground Railroad.
have you ever worked with like actual musicians that know what they're doing? It has to be perfect.
Yeah, I don't live in that world, brother.
You don't say.
Yeah. Yeah, this nice tight show I run.
Yeah, in the music world there is no such thing as good enough.
You need that Underground Railroad
All right, brother.
shit. You know
I'll
what
catch
I'm
you
saying? You need to
Monday.
smoke
We'll
that.
start
All right,
messing
thank
with
you.
you.
Fucking-
Can't wait.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
what
Pause. Last minute
that's
April
what you
Fools,
fucking
but
need.
just tell someone the real reason behind Kelly Clarkson, because of you, is dedicated to the Special Olympics. Though it's not.
An extraordinary rare dime whose whereabouts had remained a mystery since the late 1970s has just sold for just over $500,000.
Oh, pause! You never let us down.
You got that
The
sticky,
man.
icky.
That is the best. All right, brother. We'll catch you next week. Pause. We love you, brother.
Later, man. Peace.
Subscribe to That's All Funny.